Hi everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I'm MDOT MBA Administrator Chrissy Nizer.
And I'm Tim Smith, MDOT SHA Administrator.
And we're really excited to be here with you, Tim, partnering with our sister agency to talk about those critical highway safety tips for all those who travel in our roadways, as well as those work on our roadways. We really want to make sure we're looking out for them. It comes at a critical time when just last week, unfortunately, we had to report the 2020 fatality numbers, and they went up. They went up significantly. 569 people lost their lives while either driving, biking, or riding, walking on our roadways in Maryland. The increase is significant for 2019, and really the important thing about that is the traffic was less. With the pandemic, obviously, a lot of people stayed at home to be safe. So despite the fact that there were less vehicles, we saw an increase in speed and dangerous driving behavior. We also saw pedestrians and bicycle, unfortunately, fatality numbers higher as well. And so we really want to focus on what all of us can do to help us reach that goal of zero fatalities. Governor Hogan declared April Work Zone Safety Month, and to kick things off, I want to get talking about these vehicles behind us. It's an important role that they play in work zone safety as well, to help keep our highway workers safe. So I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so all great points, Chrissy. So what we got behind us is a truck-mounted attenuator, or a TMA. So as you can see, it's usually attached to a large vehicle, a dump truck or a truck like this. It has warning lights, and we'll put signs out. We usually see this at the front of a work zone. That's to give everyone advance notice of an incident or a work zone coming up in front of you. It offers protection to the striking vehicle, but also all those folks in the vehicle, and more importantly, those folks that might be further up in the work zone. So data shows that our TMAs can reduce worker and driver deaths from injuries from rear end crashes by up to 50%. So TMAs are just one way we can keep our dedicated workers safe, but we want to encourage you to drive like you work here. That means staying alert and reducing your speed in work zones, because over a 5-year period from 2014 to 2019, we had over 10,000 work zone related crashes and almost 4,000 people injured in those work zones, and up to 53 people killed during that. So anything we can do to kind of minimize our work zone fatalities and injuries is what we're trying to do here. So in most cases, when we have a TMA, motorists are the ones that are killed as a result of that injury. So as you're driving through the work zone, some of the main causes of that are distracted driving, speed, and just following too closely to other vehicles.
Yeah, those numbers are really alarming. So it's great that we're getting the message out to the public so that they can be aware. It's great we have technology, but at the end of the day, it's really all of our responsibility to be safe on the roadway. So I think it ties in really well. You just mentioned distractions and how that can play a factor in these crashes. With our safety sites, our work zone sites. April is actually Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and so it's really about getting that message out there, because distracted driving causes more than 26,000 injuries on our roadways each year, which is a staggering number. We always say driving requires your full time and attention, and it's true, because looking away just a few seconds, it might not seem long, but it really can have tragic consequences. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, sending or reading a text takes your eyes off the road for 5 seconds. 5 seconds might not seem long, but when driving 55 miles an hour, that equates to traveling the length of an entire football field blindfolded. I certainly wouldn't want to do that, and wouldn't want anybody else on the roadway doing that. So remember that, maybe that's a good analogy for people to think about. We all want to arrive safely at our destinations. And while we think about cell phones a lot with distracted driving, I also want to remind people that there are other things in the vehicle that distract us, whether it's making a change to the radio, or eating because you're in a hurry, applying makeup, even having that conversation that can get intense at times in the vehicle. All of those things can be a distraction and really can lead to tragic consequences, especially in a work zone, as you said, because a lot of times those lanes are narrow and speeds are down, and so if folks aren't paying attention, it really can lead to serious consequences. And so our message is really be the focused driver, stay alert at all times. You never know when that work zone may come upon you, especially now it's spring and the weather's a little warmer, so it's probably a little easier for crews to get out and do that work that's needed to be done.
Agreed. So this month we're really starting to get in full swing with our construction season with the warmer weather. And what that means is I need you to do your part to make sure our workers get home safely, but more importantly, you get home safely as well. So slow down and move over when you can, when you see orange cones, barrels, or signs. And what we're doing is we're asking everyone to wear orange April 28th. for Go Orange Roadway Worker Appreciation Day. So my plan is, my wife found an orange bow tie for me, so I'm breaking out the bow tie that day. But
Tim's known for his bow ties. He's got quite a collection, let me tell you.
Not one today, but so take a photo of yourself or your family wearing orange, or even your pets. Share it on social media with hashtag GoOrangeMD. Tag us on Facebook or Twitter, and let's show our roadway workers how much we really appreciate the work they do.
And those aren't the only steps that MDOT is taking to help make our roads safer. Also want to talk about the Strategic Highway Safety Plan. We just released the most recent version of that, and it is a 5-year plan to identify strategies to eliminate fatalities. SHA along with MDOT are just 2 of those partner agencies that work together with that. We have our Transportation Authority, Maryland State Police, the Department of Health, and our other safety organizations, as well as our law enforcement partners throughout the state. Essentially, a Strategic Highway Safety Plan is really our guide. It focuses on the 4 E's of highway safety, education, of course, engineering, which you guys help us with, enforcement, and emergency medical services. It also looks at some of the critical areas that we see in terms of fatalities and injuries on the roadways, from aggressive driving, impairment, distracted driving, highway infrastructure, seatbelt use, and pedestrian and bicycle safety. I'd encourage everybody to go out and find the full Strategic Highway Safety Plan at zero-md.gov.
So that's a really great point. So the Strategic Highway Safety Plan really it goes hand in hand with our context-driven guide. So last month, SHA launched a new web resource, the Context-Driven Guide, which aims to improve safety and accessibility for everyone. So it changes really the way we plan, design, construct, and maintain our roadways, and it's very specific to the locations at the time. Previously, it was just very urban or rural. We're trying to do it based on what our pedestrians and bicyclists are out there using. So if you go to our portal, it gives you kind of the 1.0 version of our context guide, but also shows you improvements we've made over the last few years, because we didn't want to wait for the guide to be fully finished. We wanted to kind of get out there and do some operational improvements. So we've done over 200 locations across the state. Those have been pedestrian signals, those have been high visibility crosswalks, protected bike lanes, and more importantly, just reducing speed limits in those areas where we're focusing more on pedestrians and bicyclists than on motorists. So to access the portal, visit roads.maryland.gov and click on the link on the homepage rotator.
Yeah, it's really exciting to hear. I mean, the fact you've already done over 200 improvements, I know those are really impactful to the communities in which they happen. And, you know, we just all want to really work together and look at all the things that we can do, whether it's more from the engineering standpoint or from a behavioral standpoint. You know, some of the messages that we always try to remind people about is always make a plan and be that sober driver. Also to slow down. We talked a lot about that earlier. You know, we've seen speed increasing even during the pandemic. Please slow down. It's not worth the extra, few minutes you might arrive there a little bit early. Be the look twice driver and watch out for our pedestrians and our other vulnerable roadway users. Be the share the road driver. As the weather gets warmer, we see bikes as well as motorcycles out there on the road. And it's really important that we all look out for each other so we can arrive home safely.
Agreed, and a good reminder is also please help our police and emergency responders. They're going to be alongside on the shoulder on those roadways. So as you see those lights or you see them on the shoulder, please move over if you can, and if you can't, please slow down to a reasonable speed. We need to keep them safe as well.
Such an important message. Just in the last few weeks, it's so upsetting to see we've had several state troopers who've been struck while they were attending to a vehicle on the side of the road, as well as a Transportation Authority officer. The roadway workers provide a really important function, so let's look out for each other. Again, I appreciate you being with us today, Tim. And I would just encourage everybody to look out for our next monthly message. That one's going to be in May on motorcycle safety. Again, really timely as the weather's warmer. We see more motorcycles out. We'll talk about some key safety messages. Our goal in Maryland is really to reach 0 fatalities. Every life is important. Every life is critical. We want each and every one of you, as well as your family and friends, to arrive home safely. And we believe that together we can make a difference. And so I hope that everybody stays safe and well, and we'll see you next time in May. Thanks for joining us.